The orbital defense station Aegis 1 hung silently above Earth, its sleek obsidian surface absorbing virtually all light that touched it. To the casual observer, it appeared to be nothing more than an unremarkable satellite, one of thousands circling humanity's homeworld. This was exactly as intended. Commander Sarah Chen stood at her post, dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing deep space sensor readings. After 15 years of service in the Earth Defense Force, she had learned to trust her instincts. Something about today's readings felt wrong. "Dr. Patterson," she called out to her chief science officer, "are you seeing these gravitational anomalies near the Kuiper belt?" Marcus Patterson, a brilliant physicist who had helped develop Earth's gravity detection grid, adjusted his round spectacles as he studied the data. "Yes, Commander. These distortions don't match any known natural phenomena. They're too regular, too structured." Before Chen could respond, every sensor on the station lit up simultaneously. Massive objects were dropping out of faster-than-light travel, their emergence sending ripples through spacetime that the station's sensors could detect light minutes before visual confirmation. "Multiple contacts," announced Lieutenant Kira Patel from Tactical. "I count 73 vessels, each approximately 3 kilometers in length. Configuration unknown, but their energy signatures suggest significant weapons capacity." Chen maintained her composure, though her heart rate accelerated. This was potentially first contact, or first invasion. Either way, humanity had prepared for this moment for over a century. "Initiate Protocol Sunset," Chen ordered calmly. Throughout the station, hidden systems whirred to life. What appeared to be simple structural supports began pulsing with subtle energy signatures. The station's true nature was awakening. A transmission cut through the tense atmosphere. The main screen filled with the image of a being that appeared to be made of crystalline structures, its form constantly shifting and refracting light. When it spoke, its words were translated by the station's AI. "Attention primitive carbon-based civilization. I am Supreme Commander Vex Thor of the Crystal Dominion. Your world has been chosen for ascension. Submit to crystallization, and your species will achieve perfection. Resist, and we will shatter your world and rebuild it in our image." Chen exchanged glances with her bridge crew. They had trained for first contact scenarios, but a demand for immediate surrender hadn't been high on their list of expected outcomes. Still, they had protocols for this. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of Earth Defense Station Aegis 1, she responded, keeping her voice steady. "We acknowledge your presence but reject your demand. Earth is a sovereign world. We have no interest in crystallization or ascension. Please withdraw your fleet immediately." The crystalline being's form flickered with what might have been amusement. "Your defensive capabilities are minimal. Our scans show primitive kinetic weapons and basic energy shielding. You cannot hope to resist the Crystal Dominion." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Supreme Commander, I should inform you that your scans are incomplete. Earth has a policy of technological obscurement. What you're seeing is only what we want you to see." "Irrelevant," Vex Thor declared. "We will demonstrate our power. Watch as we eliminate your primitive orbital defense platform." The alien fleet's leading vessel fired a beam of pure crystalline energy at Aegis 1. The beam struck what appeared to be empty space 3 kilometers from the station, and simply stopped, trapped in a complex web of gravitational fields that the station had been generating since its construction. "As I was saying," Chen continued, "your scans are incomplete. Aegis 1 isn't just a defense platform, it's a gravity manipulation nexus. Dr. Patterson, would you care to explain?" Patterson stepped forward, unable to hide his enthusiasm despite the situation. "Your weapon is currently trapped in a localized gravity well of our creation. We've been studying gravity manipulation for decades. This station can create thousands of micro-black holes, each perfectly controlled and contained. Your energy weapon literally cannot reach us." The crystalline being's form became jagged, its smooth surfaces fracturing with what might have been anger. "Impossible. Such technology is beyond carbon-based life. That's your first mistake, Chen replied. Assuming you know what we're capable of. Humanity has learned to hide its true capabilities because we discovered something important. Species that flaunt their technology tend to invite conflict. We prefer peace, but we're more than ready for war. Vexthor's response was to order his entire fleet to open fire. 73 crystalline energy beams lanced toward Aegis 1. 73 beams were caught and held in a complex dance of artificial gravity wells. Dr. Patterson, Chen said quietly, demonstrate our primary defensive capability. Patterson's fingers flew across his console. The trapped energy beams began to move, drawn together by precisely controlled gravitational forces. They merged into a single point of brilliant light. You see, Patterson explained, his voice taking on a lecturer's tone despite the circumstances, we've found that energy weapons are particularly susceptible to gravitational manipulation. We can catch them, redirect them, even combine them. Would you like to see what happens when we send all of your attacks back at once? The combined energy burst shot back toward the alien fleet, its power multiplied by the gravitational acceleration. 3 of the Crystal Dominion's ships shattered instantly, their crystalline structures unable to withstand their own weapons turned against them. This is your final warning, Chen announced. Withdraw now, or we will be forced to demonstrate our offensive capabilities. I assure you, you won't enjoy seeing what Aegis 1 can really do. The crystal being's form had stopped shifting, frozen in what might have been shock. What are you? Chen's response was firm and clear, we are humanity. We hide our strength not out of fear, but out of wisdom. We advance our technology not for conquest, but for defense. And we're giving you one last chance to leave in peace. The alien fleet hung motionless in space as their commander faced a reality they had never expected, a species that had hidden its true powers so well that even their advanced scanners had been deceived. The question now was whether they would learn from this encounter, or force humanity to demonstrate just how much more they had been hiding. The Crystal Dominion's fleet hung in space like a constellation of shattered diamonds, their initial confidence replaced by wary calculation. Commander Chen could almost see the aliens reassessing their strategy through the crystalline facets of their ships. They're reconfiguring their crystal matrices, Lieutenant Patel reported, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. Energy signatures suggest they're adapting their weapons to compensate for our gravity manipulation. Patterson nodded appreciatively. Clever. They're attempting to create weapons that can punch through gravitational distortions. Unfortunately for them, gravity wasn't our only trick. The alien commander's image flickered back onto the main screen, its crystalline form now pulsing with deep red energy. Your gravity technology is impressive, Commander Chen. But the Crystal Dominion has conquered worlds far more advanced than yours. We adapt. We evolve. We perfect. As if to demonstrate, the alien fleet began to change. Their ships' crystalline structures rearranged themselves, forming new configurations that sparked with internal energy. Sensors showed they were somehow phase-shifting their matter state, attempting to become partially immune to gravitational effects. Chen smiled slightly. Adaptation is indeed impressive. But you're still making assumptions about our capabilities. Dr. Harrison, initiate the quantum lattice. Dr. Maya Harrison, the station's quantum mechanics specialist, had been quietly working at her station throughout the confrontation. At Chen's command, she pressed her palm against a DNA-encoded scanner. Quantum lattice deploying, Commander. Revealing our second layer. The space around Aegis 1 began to shimmer with subtle iridescence. What appeared to be empty vacuum was suddenly filled with an intricate web of quantum-entangled particles, spreading out in all directions like an invisible spider's web. Allow me to explain, Harrison offered, her dark fingers dancing across her holographic controls. While you were focused on our gravity manipulation, you failed to notice that we've been building a quantum entanglement field around your entire fleet. Each particle is linked to our central quantum computer. We can literally rewrite the laws of physics within this space. The crystal being's form flickered with what might have been confusion. Quantum manipulation on this scale is theoretically impossible. The energy requirements alone would be astronomical using conventional methods, Harrison interrupted. But humanity learned long ago that brute force isn't always the answer. We developed quantum fusion, the ability to create self-sustaining quantum fields powered by the very vacuum energy of space itself. As if to demonstrate, the quantum field around the alien fleet began to glow with subtle colors. Where their ships tried to phase shift, the quantum lattice adjusted instantly, maintaining perfect containment. Their attempted adaptation had been predicted and countered before it even finished. "Commander," Patterson called out, "they're charging what appears to be their primary weapons. Energy readings are off the charts. They're going to try to overwhelm our defenses with raw power." Chen nodded calmly. "Just as expected. Dr. Harrison, demonstrate why that's a poor decision." The quantum field pulsed once, and suddenly every weapon port on the alien ships sealed itself shut, their crystal structures rearranged at the quantum level. The massive energy buildup had nowhere to go. "You see," Harrison explained, her voice carrying a teacher's patience, "within our quantum lattice, we can selectively alter how matter behaves. Your weapons aren't just blocked, they're temporarily transformed into inert crystal. The same material you're made of, just repurposed." Vexthor's image showed the first signs of genuine concern. "This defies all known physics." "No," Harrison corrected. "It defies all physics known to you. Humanity has spent centuries developing technologies that we kept hidden from the galaxy. We learned early on that broadcasting our capabilities would only invite conflict. So we advanced in secret, building defenses that appear impossible because no one knew to look for them. The alien commander's form had become jagged, its smooth surfaces broken by stress patterns. You hide your strength. You deny the galaxy knowledge of your achievements. This is inefficient. Imperfect." "On the contrary," Chen replied. "It's the height of efficiency. We've developed our technology without interference, without having to engage in arms races or defensive wars. We've had the luxury of perfecting our innovations at our own pace." As if to punctuate her point, several of the alien ships began reporting critical system failures. Their attempts to force their weapons through the quantum lattice had caused cascading reactions in their crystal matrices. "I recommend powering down your ships completely," Harrison advised. "Your current energy emissions are creating quantum resonance patterns that your crystal structures can't handle. We don't want to destroy you, but we will not allow you to threaten Earth." The alien fleet hung motionless in space, caught between their pride and the dawning realization that they faced technology far beyond their understanding. Their initial assumption of Earth's primitive nature had led them into a trap of their own making. "Commander," Patel reported suddenly, "I'm detecting new energy signatures from their fleet. They're different from anything we've seen so far." Chen's expression hardened slightly. "It seems they have more surprises of their own. Lieutenant Patel, bring our third layer online. Let's show them why humanity's defensive doctrine has so many depths." The Crystal Dominion was about to learn that gravity manipulation and quantum fields were just the beginning of Earth's hidden capabilities. The real question was how much more would they force humanity to reveal before they understood the true message: some warnings should never be ignored. "Energy spike detected." Lieutenant Patel's voice cut through the tense atmosphere on Aegis I's bridge. "They're channeling power through their crystalline structures in a way we haven't seen before." The alien fleet had begun to pulse with a deep violet light, their crystalline ships resonating at frequencies that seemed to bend reality itself. Tiny fractures in spacetime appeared around their vessels, leaking strange energies that even Earth's advanced sensors struggled to categorize. "Dimensional rifts," Patterson announced, his usual enthusiasm replaced by concern. "They're attempting to bypass our defenses by operating partially outside normal spacetime." Commander Chen's expression remained steady. Initiate Kronos Protocol. The command center's lighting shifted to a deep blue as a new voice joined the conversation, smooth, artificial, yet somehow warm. Kronos Protocol activated. Hello, Commander Chen. I am Arya, the Artificial Relativistic Intelligence Administrator. The alien commander's image appeared again, but this time there was something different about their crystalline form, a hint of smugness in their shifting patterns. Your defenses are impressive, humans, but they operate within the confines of standard spacetime. Our phase shift technology allows us to exist partially in other dimensions. Your gravity wells and quantum fields cannot affect what isn't fully here. Actually, Arya interrupted, her holographic form materializing beside Chen, appearing as a network of shifting blue lines forming a roughly humanoid shape. That's not entirely accurate. We've been expecting someone to try dimensional warfare eventually. Humanity has been preparing for it for decades. Around Aegis 1, new systems emerged from what had appeared to be decorative external plating. Dozens of temporal stabilizers activated, creating a complex web of chronometric particles that began to interface with the quantum lattice already in place. Dr. Harrison, Chen ordered, synchronize the quantum field with Arya's temporal matrix. The quantum field surrounding the alien fleet suddenly shifted, its iridescent patterns taking on new complexity. Where the Crystal Dominion's ships tried to phase between dimensions, they found themselves caught in carefully calculated temporal nets. You see, Arya explained, her voice carrying the weight of vast computational power, humanity discovered temporal mechanics almost by accident while researching quantum entanglement. We realized that time itself could be used as a defensive mechanism. Your dimensional shifting is impressive, but we can literally catch your ships between moments. The alien fleet's attempt to phase through spacetime had been completely halted. Their ships hung suspended in a complex matrix of quantum temporal fields, caught between microseconds like insects in amber. Impossible. Vexthor's voice carried genuine fear now. No species has ever managed to weaponize temporal mechanics. The computational requirements alone are handled by my quantum processors, Arya finished. I am not merely an artificial intelligence. I am a quantum temporal AI, capable of calculating and managing millions of temporal variations simultaneously. Your dimensional technology, while advanced, is relatively simple to counter once you understand how to manipulate time itself. Chen stepped forward. This is why we hide our true capabilities. Humanity learned long ago that broadcasting our technological achievements would only force us to reveal more and more of our defenses. We prefer to let potential adversaries underestimate us. The alien ships began to show signs of stress, their crystalline structures cracking under the strain of being caught between moments of time. Their attempt to bypass Earth's defenses had instead trapped them more thoroughly than any conventional weapon could have. Your ships are beginning to experience temporal friction, Arya announced. I recommend powering down all systems immediately. Even your crystalline technology cannot withstand existing in multiple temporal states indefinitely. Patterson's console suddenly lit up with new warnings. Commander, they're attempting to synchronize their ship's crystal matrices. The energy buildup suggests they're trying to create some kind of resonance cascade. A desperate move, Arya commented. They hope to shatter our temporal field by overloading their own systems. Calculating countermeasures now. Chen watched as the alien fleet began to glow with increasing intensity, their desperation driving them to potentially suicidal tactics. They still don't understand, do they? Arya, show them our fourth layer of defense. It's time to demonstrate why humanity's technological development took the path it did. As the Crystal Dominion prepared their final gambit, Aegis 1 revealed yet another hidden aspect of Earth's defensive capabilities, one that would show these aliens why attempting to force humanity to reveal its full strength was perhaps the greatest tactical error they could have made. The Crystal Dominion's fleet pulsed with blinding energy as they initiated their synchronized resonance cascade. The fabric of space itself seemed to vibrate as 70 crystalline warships pushed their systems beyond safe limits. Resonance approaching critical levels, Arya reported calmly. Their crystal matrices are generating enough energy to potentially rupture our temporal containment field. Commander Chen nodded. They're willing to risk their own destruction to break free. That shows both desperation and determination. Arya, initiate biointegration protocol. The AI's holographic form smiled slightly. Initiating now. Dr. Reyes, you're up. Dr. Sofia Reyes, the station's bioengineering specialist who had remained quiet until now, stepped forward. Her cybernetic eyes gleamed as she interfaced directly with her console. Biointegration protocol active. Releasing the spores. From hidden ports across Aegis I's hull, clouds of what appeared to be silvery dust began to emerge. The microscopic particles drifted through the quantum temporal field, unaffected by the dimensional distortions. What trickery is this now? Vexthor demanded, though his crystalline form showed signs of strain from maintaining the resonance cascade. Not trickery, Reyes explained. Evolution. These are engineered microorganisms, developed from extremophile bacteria found in Earth's most hostile environments. We call them adapters. The cloud of silver particles reached the alien ships, settling on their crystalline surfaces. Almost immediately, the microscopic organisms began to change, their engineered DNA responding to the crystal structures they encountered. You see, Reyes continued, humanity discovered something fascinating during our early space exploration. Life, particularly microbial life, has an incredible capacity for adaptation. Instead of fighting this natural process, we learn to enhance it, guide it, perfect it. The adapters were already transforming, their biological structures incorporating elements of the alien crystals. Where they touched the ship's hulls, they created a living interface between organic and crystalline matter. Your resonance cascade is impressive, Arya noted, but it relies on perfect synchronization between your crystal matrices. Our adapters are now disrupting that synchronization at the molecular level, creating organic irregularities that your systems cannot compensate for. The alien fleet's coordinated energy buildup began to falter as the adapters spread across their hulls, creating patches of hybrid crystal organic structures that refused to resonate properly. Their attempt to overload Earth's defenses was being undone by microscopic life forms. This is why humanity chose a different path, Chen explained. While other species focused on purely technological solutions, we learned to combine technology with biology. Our greatest achievements came from understanding that life itself is the most sophisticated technology in the universe. Patterson's console showed the cascading effects of the adapter's work. The resonance is breaking down. Their ships are losing synchronization. The strain on our temporal field is decreasing. You corrupt our perfect crystalline forms with organic contamination. Vexthor's voice carried both rage and disbelief. We will not accept this impurity. That's your fundamental mistake, Reyes responded. You see the combination of organic and inorganic as contamination. We see it as evolution. The adapters aren't corrupting your ships, they're improving them, making them more resilient, more adaptable. Indeed, the areas where the adapters had created hybrid structures were actually strengthening the alien vessels' hulls, preventing the stress fractures that had been developing from their desperate resonance attempt. Final warning, Chen announced. Your resonance cascade has failed. Your ships are now partially integrated with Earth-based life forms. You cannot break free without destroying yourselves. Stand down, power down your vessels, and prepare for diplomatic contact. The Crystal Dominion fleet hung in space, their ships now covered in patches of shimmering hybrid crystal that reflected light in impossible ways. They had come expecting to find a primitive civilization worthy only of conquest or conversion. Instead, they had discovered a species that had taken such a different path to advancement that their technologies seemed like magic. Commander, Arya reported, I'm detecting power fluctuations from their flagship. They appear to be charging something else. Something different. Analysis suggests it's not a weapon. Chen raised an eyebrow. It seems they have one more surprise for us. Maintain all defensive protocols, but prepare for possible diplomatic contact. Sometimes, the greatest victory isn't in defeating an enemy, but in turning them into something else entirely. Reyes finished, watching as the alien ships began to change in ways none of them had expected. The flagship of the Crystal Dominion began to transform. Its jagged crystalline surface softened, the hybrid structures created by the adapters spreading in geometric patterns that seemed to pulse with inner light. What had been a weapon of war was becoming something entirely new. Remarkable, Dr. Reyes whispered, her cybernetic eyes recording everything. They're not fighting the integration anymore. They're directing it. Learning from it. The alien commander's image appeared again, but Vexthor's form had changed. The harsh, angular crystalline structure had evolved into something more fluid, organic crystals flowing like liquid glass. We understand now. We were wrong about you, humans. Wrong about everything. Commander Chen kept her stance neutral but relaxed her expression slightly. Enlighten us, Supreme Commander. What do you understand? Perfection. Vexthor's voice had lost its metallic edge, becoming more harmonious. We sought it through purity, through the elimination of what we saw as chaos. But your species, you embrace chaos. You hide your strength not out of fear, but because you understand something we forgot. Arya's holographic form shifted, analyzing the changes in the alien fleet. Their ships are voluntarily adapting now. The adapters aren't forcing the change anymore, they're being invited to create something new. Evolution, Patterson added, watching his readings with fascination. They're not just accepting the hybrid state, they're improving on it. Their crystal matrices are reorganizing in ways we never predicted. The entire alien fleet was transforming, their ships becoming less like weapons and more like living crystals. The hybrid structures created by Earth's engineered organisms had sparked something that centuries of Crystal Dominion development had never considered: true adaptation. You could have destroyed us, Vexthor observed. Your gravity wells could have crushed us. Your quantum fields could have shattered us. Your temporal manipulation could have erased us from time itself. Instead, you chose to change us. Why? Chen smiled genuinely for the first time since the confrontation began. Because humanity learned long ago that destruction is easy. Creation, true creation, is the real challenge. We developed our defensive capabilities not to win wars, but to prevent them. Every layer of our defense was designed to offer a choice: adapt or fail. And now you understand why we hide our true capabilities, Arya added. If we had revealed everything at once, you would have seen only weapons to be countered. Instead, you discovered each layer as a lesson. The final lesson being the most important: true strength lies not in purity, but in adaptation. The alien fleet had completely transformed. Where there had been warships, there were now crystalline structures that seemed alive, pulsing with both energy and organic processes. They had become living proof that evolution didn't require abandoning one's nature, it meant expanding it. The Crystal Dominion has existed for 10,000 years, Vexthor said, their form now a beautiful blend of geometric precision and organic flow. We conquered hundreds of worlds, always seeking to perfect them in our image. But you have shown us that perfection isn't a single form. It's the ability to change, to grow, to become more than what you were. That's why Earth chose to hide its advancement, Chen explained. Not out of fear, but out of hope that when we finally met other species, we could guide them toward understanding rather than forcing them to accept our power. Every defensive layer we revealed was an opportunity for you to learn. And now, Dr. Reyes added, you have become something entirely new. Neither purely crystal nor purely organic, but a true fusion of both. Your entire fleet has evolved into something the galaxy has never seen before. The transformed alien fleet arranged itself in a new formation, no longer threatening, but harmonious. Each ship now moved in perfect coordination with the others, like a school of crystalline fish swimming through space. "We came to offer your world ascension," Vexthor said, their voice carrying newfound humility. "Instead, you have elevated us. The crystal dominion will return to our worlds, but not as conquerors. We will return as teachers, sharing what we have learned here." Commander Chen nodded. "And what message will you carry to the galaxy?" "That Earth's greatest weapon isn't its technology or its defenses," the alien commander replied. "It's the wisdom to know when not to use them. That true power lies not in forcing change, but in guiding it. And that any species that mistakes Earth's hidden strength for weakness is making a mistake they may not survive to regret." As the transformed fleet prepared to depart, Arya's calculations suggested that the galaxy's balance of power had just shifted dramatically. Not through war or conquest, but through the most powerful force humanity had discovered, the ability to turn enemies into something more than friends, into proof that evolution never truly ends. And as Aegis I's crew watched the crystal ships disappear into faster-than-light travel, they knew that Earth's message had finally been delivered to the galaxy. Sometimes the best way to win a war is to help your enemy become something better than they ever imagined they could be.